Little tip for anybody who's looking to make their mic go from like 10% quality to 100% quality. Just talk closer to it. It's the most common mistake that I see is that people just simply do not talk close enough to their mic. I mean, the farther away you go, the less of that like rich low end you get. And as I bring the mic closer, la 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 la, you now get that rich podcasty warm low end. Welcome back to Oh My Pod. I'm Justin.
And I'm Celine.
And today we are going to be giving away some gold, some podcast gold for free, as always.
Yep.
It's going to be the ultimate tech toolkit for a video podcast. So that includes equipment and software, pretty much everything that we use to run this show.
Yeah, because I remember actually we have talked about like the essentials in like one of our first episodes, but
yeah, like equipment and stuff.
Yeah, but we actually kind of changed our minds now.
Yeah,
so,
we've updated and upgraded.
Yeah, exactly. So now we both have actually new mics than when we started podcasting.
Yeah.
And so now we're giving away the secrets.
I don't know, little update on us. We're getting ready to go back to Italy on October 7th.
Oh,
but
yeah, but whenever.
Yep,
exactly. I was just going to say whenever this comes out.
We're going to be there.
I think this comes out in December. So, yeah.
So we're going to have been there for a long time.
Yeah.
Maybe we can make this come out earlier. I'm sure we can throw it in somewhere.
Yeah.
Because this is super relevant right now. Like I want everybody to download this. This is a free, like not ebook, but a free like PDF lead magnet thing that I created. And I've already had tons of downloads on this and really good feedback. So I really hope that people listening actually download this. Mm-hmm. Literally the most concise thing ever. It's just a bunch of links and a bunch of things that we use. Yep. So let's just get into it. Starting with equipment, the mic that Celine is using, the Shure MV7, is a lot like the SM7B that you see on Joe Rogan or Diary of a CEO or whatever. Every single podcast, in-person podcast where the production value is super high, the SM7B is the go-to microphone.
Yeah.
But for the average person, the SM7B is just too expensive and way, way too high quality for what people actually need. The only reason I bought the SM7B is that I could also record my vocals for singing for my songwriting career. Had I not been doing that, I would never have spent the extra $400 or $500 to buy this microphone. I just would have bought the MV7. So of course, I'm going to recommend the MV7.
Fancy stuff. Like he likes fancy
I do like fancy audio equipment.
Okay. Because I just wanted to say, that's actually not true because you were actually trying to convince me to get that one too. And I was like, heck no.
Right. Well, I thought it would make us look good.
Better if we had the same one.
It would make us look like pros if we both had that mic. So, but
yeah, you're right.
Honestly,
but you also just wanted to buy fancy equipment for no reason because you're into that type of stuff, I guess.
True.
But what I would like to ask on that note is if anybody can actually hear a difference between me and him.
Well, probably because, first of all, it's really hard to compare a male to female voice, so that'd be super hard. But also, we do have like different spaces that we're recording in.
That's true.
And I tend to talk very, very close to the microphone, whereas you have a bit more distance away.
Yeah, I don't like touching it with my lips, especially because usually I wear makeup and I get it on there, and that's not nice.
Little tip for anybody who's looking to make their mic go from like 10% quality to 100% quality. Just talk closer to it. It's the most common mistake that I see is that people just simply do not talk close enough to their mic. I mean, the farther away you go, the less of that like rich low end you get. And as I bring the mic closer, la 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 la, you now get that rich podcasty warm low end. And I keep telling people that. I keep listening to podcasts and they're like, I don't know why my mic's not working. I have such an expensive mic. I'm like, just talk closer to it and you'll get exactly what you need. So
yeah, but
just a little side tangent.
I don't think that usually normal people, quote unquote, which I am one of those normal people, Justin is not. Normal people don't hear certain things. You hear stuff and I don't hear anything.
But they can feel it. They can feel the low end. Like there's a richness that you can really feel with the low end that I've even people know that their audio doesn't sound as good as, for instance, Joe Rogan's, and it's usually because they're just not talking close enough to be totally honest. But the next piece would be headphones. You need some headphones, and the headphones that I recommend are the same as the ones that I'm wearing, but I have the high end version. So mine are about $300, but the headphones that we recommend are about $50. Mm-hmm. So it's Audio Technica, just like mine, but rather than the M50X, which is what I have, we recommend the M20X. Again, because you're podcasting, you're not producing music. Producing music requires a much more finessed and nuanced frequency range and sound understanding. So for your podcast, you just want to look the part and hear what's going on. And for that, these are perfect. They look great. They feel great. They sound great. Perfect.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah. And then if you're watching the video, you can see that Justin has a different mic stand than I do. So there's basically something called a boom arm.
Yeah, it's like an arm.
Yeah, it's like an arm holding your microphone. And then there's stands that just stand on your desk. And so you just hold the microphone that way, kind of. Justin would definitely recommend the one that he has. I think it highly depends on the desk that you have.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Because what Justin has doesn't fit onto every desk. I think you can make it work anyways. Right?
I just like this because no matter how I feel like sitting or how far away I am or whatever, I'm not limited by my microphone stand. I did choose to buy a more expensive stand, a more high-end stand, somewhere around $100. But again, keep coming back to that I don't just podcast. Like I also do music. Everything needs to be perfect for that. So in that sense, I'm just really trying to create a toolkit here that is exactly what someone needs and no more. So this will not like break your bank, essentially. So the stand that's linked here is, again, a stand that's more affordable. And the next piece would be some studio foam. So I don't currently have foam in my room here, but I do have carpet on the floor. I have a sound diffuser behind me, and I've got a bed as well in this room, which makes a big difference for soaking up the sound. And so I don't need foam, but we have clients who record in a very empty room with no soft surfaces, hard floor, hard ceiling, hard walls, obviously, nothing on the walls, nothing to soak up any of the sound. And it sounds like they're inside a toilet paper roll. Like it's not good. And one of the best things that you can do is to get something like some studio foam just to soften the walls and give the sound a bit more space to get trapped in before it bounces back off. It's not going to completely fix the problem, but that along with a rug underneath you and honestly like a soft chair or a few pillows in the room, or if you really aren't figuring it out, I mean, you can even like hang blankets or stuff. I've done all kinds of things. I've recorded in closets. Obviously, that's not so good if you're doing video, but there's a lot of strategies that you can use. But the simple one, also, if you have a room that sounds okay, already has like maybe a bed or a couch, then the studio foam can make a huge difference and can really improve the sound.
Yep, definitely. I think there were 1 or 2 episodes that we recorded when we were moving out of our old apartment and it was empty already.
Everything
you could definitely hear that.
Oh my gosh, It was so much worse. I couldn't believe how much worse it was.
Oh yeah, it was crazy. And it wasn't even fully empty. It was just way more empty than when we
sold our
couch
is mainly the thing.
Yeah, I think the couch was gone. We had like a huge couch that was that soaked up a lot of sound.
But let's move on to software. So now that we've covered, like that's all the equipment that you need to run a podcast. Seriously.
Oh, yeah.
A solo podcast online, that's all you need. You don't need anything more than that.
Oh, one more thing actually that I want to say. Mm-hmm. The microphone that I have, you can buy it with that little stand-up mic stand with a tripod. Oh, I did not think of the word.
That's okay.
A tripod. Or you can buy the version without the tripod. So if you already know that you're not going to use the tripod, but you're going to buy a boom arm, just get the mic without the tripod because it's going to be cheaper.
It's like $30 or $40 less. Yeah.
Yeah, and that can literally be your boom arm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, there's no point in getting it if you don't need it.
Yeah. So for software, the first one that we have is for virtual interviews. So that's a piece that you need to figure out right away at the beginning. Where are you going to record your interviews? Zoom works for some people. I just think that there's better alternatives to Zoom when it comes to recording podcasts. I think that Zoom is great for obviously like online calls and everything like that and meetings. But when it comes to actually recording the podcast, I think that something like Riverside is a better alternative. You get a higher recording quality. You get separate tracks for video and audio for your guest and for the host. And you get recording on the client side. So even if the quality goes to complete, garbage, then you're still getting a good source recording because the person's camera on their laptop and their audio in their laptop is what's actually being recorded. So you get great audio files and great video files kind of no matter what. So that would be go-to for virtual interviews. Then Celine, do you want to go for the copywriting?
Yeah, the copywriting, I think we've done a whole interview actually with the guys that came up with PodSqueeze.
Yes,
PodSqueeze is
we can link that.
AI writing software. We really like PodSqueeze, and we have we tried pretty much all the copywriting tools, AI tools that came out and that have gotten better over this last little stretch of time.
Yeah.
We recently just retried a lot of the ones that we tried a while back. And I still have to say that PodSqueeze is by far my favorite one. For multiple reasons. Some of them are that you can actually go in there, edit whatever it comes up with, but not just that, you can also tweak it. For example, you can say, make this more casual, make this
it's
more
ChatGPT,
whatever.
Yeah.
Exactly. But it's all built in, and that's just fantastic.
But PodSqueeze, like we should clarify that PodSqueeze, you literally just drop your full episode audio file into PodSqueeze, and it gives you a full transcription, summary, timestamps, titles, everything. It gives you pretty much all of the copywriting you need, and it gets you about 80 to 90% of the way done, and then the last like 10 or 20% should still be humanized. That's why we use...
Yeah, also gives you captions for social media posts and quotes.
Yeah, and that's why we use PodSqueeze alongside a copywriting team, because it doesn't quite get the titles as tight as I would like. They still seem very AI, and titles obviously are like a science within like writing headlines is like a science, and so humans are still going to be far superior at that, at least for now. The episode that we did with the owners of that, Tiago and Joao, that's episode 18, and that goes into depth about PodSqueeze. And if you want to we actually have an affiliate link with them. So if you download PodSqueeze, or not download it, if you go to the link within this ebook that I made, you can click on that link and you'll get 10% off of that as well. So and again, all of this can be found on this ebook that will be linked below. Please download that and get as much from it as you possibly can. The next one would be hosting. So where to host your podcast. You can't just post a podcast to Spotify the way that you can like post a picture to Instagram or post a video to YouTube. You have to use some kind of verified third party. And for that, we would recommend using Buzzsprout. Buzzsprout is just like all the other ones, Libsyn, Anchor, all that stuff. But Buzzsprout is just so simple, and we had no problems with it the entire time that we used it. We actually ran our whole business through Buzzsprout for a long time. We ended up moving to a different platform that's more built for agencies like us. But if I had to run a podcast independently again, I would absolutely use Buzzsprout. It's really, really cheap too. It's like $16 a month for like unlimited hosting. So yeah, I would.
Yeah, it's really good for sure. There's even things now that I liked better about Buzzsprout than what we're currently using.
I agree. I missed some elements of it.
Yeah.
The analytics are super easy to see, and
exactly. It's easy to use for sure.
Yes.
Yeah. It makes it very much easier for somebody that does not know a ton about how the distributing part works of podcasting.
Definitely.
I think as well.
Yep.
And then the last one here that we have is the scheduling social media content platform that we use, which is Later. I'm sure that a lot of people have already heard about this. Tons of people use this, businesses, influencer, but we also use it for our social media content from our podcast. This is super nice because you can schedule everything
ahead of time
at the same time and ahead of time. So basically, what you can do is just go in and create 30 posts for the next 30 days, and you can schedule them to whatever social media that you want, because it really links to everything, like Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Pinterest, LinkedIn, like everything.
Yeah, and write all the
so
captions.
So that's
and
super,
everything.
super neat. You can write all the captions, you can tag the place, you can and you can choose whenever you want to post it. It also allows you now to post carousel posts, which prior to this didn't really work.
The only caveat,
and the only
I was just gonna say, the only caveat with that is that you can't tag people as collaborators, so you can't tag people at all, actually. So
no, you can't tag people.
Can't tag people. Okay, well, you can't tag people as collaborators, so you can't.
Oh, I'm sorry. You know what you were thinking about? You cannot tag people in Reels. You can tag people elsewhere. Right. But you cannot tag them in Reels, and you cannot invite people as collaborator. But I think that's because the collaboration thing is quite new to Instagram even, so I think they just haven't caught up yet.
Yes, you got to go in and actually manually tag the people. So that can be a bit annoying, but it's just, I mean, it also forces you to then go onto social media and do a bit of like engagement yourself, which is also good anyways. So I think it's not a big deal. You can just like set yourself a reminder on the days that you have it scheduled for, and then just go in and do it. There's actually 3 more things though. That wasn't the last one. There's another page after. Do you see it?
Oh, I thought that was a different.
No, there's another software page.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so there's 3 more things that we'll talk about before we hop off here. The first thing here is ChatGPT. Like, obviously, this is going to be really good for your podcast in a few ways. One of the main ways is that you can upload your entire podcast transcript from any given episode, and you can ask it to pull like quotes, or you can ask it to pull like a good infographic post or carousel post. You can ask it to turn this episode into a blog post. There's a whole bunch of things you can do with ChatGPT that I'm sure, I mean, I'm not an expert at it, but there's people who have completely mastered ChatGPT that just, I can't even believe what they can get out of it. So I would highly recommend using ChatGPT in some form for your podcast. And then for the clips, we used Veed.io. I didn't use it very much, but Celine, you used it, and what did you think of it?
So basically we used this, we tested it out for a little bit. We're not currently using it anymore because we have professional video editors that are capable of using more advanced and more advanced tools. Yeah. But for the day-to-day person, I would definitely recommend Veed.io because it is actually kind of like a one-stop shop because it does multiple things at the same time. So I actually was forced a while back, like months ago, to edit video clips myself because we had a problem with our video editors. And I ended up using iMovie to clip the video clips. Then I used Descript to caption them. And I didn't add any stock images or videos. Whereas Veed.io, you clip in there, you get stock images already in there that you can just pop in, or even stock video. And it also does the subtitles. Yeah.
And
so
you can add
it's
music.
Literally everything in
There's
one.
Tons of
and you can add the
music that you can also add to kind of give it some more personality.
So we really want to advise you to use that because it's one subscription for all those things rather than having a ton of different subscriptions for all of these features that you would use to make very cool video clips for your podcast.
Totally. And yeah, because you would need an editor, then Descript for subtitles, and then you would also need.
And then I don't know where you would get stock footage for.
Yeah, there's different subscriptions and stuff that people use.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not sure if Descript also lets you clip. I really don't know Descript at all.
I mean, it does probably let you, but it's not nice to use.
Yeah, I've never tried it before. And then the last one is just Calendly. It's just for your scheduling. So scheduling interviews,
Yep.
and sometimes even what we've done a couple of times is you can even schedule a little pre-interview call. So you meet them, a week or a couple of weeks before your interview, just to, like we had talked about on a previous episode, to kind of break through some of that first meeting awkwardness that you really don't want captured on your episode. So, but anyways, that's off topic. Calendly is going to be a good way to, or any calendar platform, just so that you have something that you send to them with a link that can then send automatic reminders, because you really don't want people missing an interview. It's just terrible. So yeah, we'll link this entire thing with all of the links and everything, so that you don't mishear something and go find something completely different. And you can download this and you can use everything here. And this is a list that we've made through trial and error. So the only things that made it on this list are the things that we actually found super useful and valuable. We didn't add anything on here that's not amazing. So hopefully this is useful to you. Go ahead and download it. Leave us like an email or something if you really loved it. I always love feedback, but you don't have to. You can just enjoy it and stay completely silent, and we'll never hear from you. Cool. Well, thank you for listening.
Yep.
And we have no idea when this will come out, but whenever it does, we hope you enjoyed it.
Surprise
for everybody involved. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Well, bye.
Bye.
Okay, so you made it this far, which means you probably found something or learned something valuable from this. So don't be selfish. Please share it with somebody else so that they can learn something from it too. That's all we ask for all this free content. We're trying to build a community and help as many people as possible do better in podcasting, make better podcasts, get more from their podcasts in less time. That's our goal here. And if you want to support that goal, then just click the link and send it to one person who you know would love you for it.